In 1966, a respected scientist released a book detailing concepts that could affect all of humanity. However, before the public could read it, the book was classified by the CIA. The truth behind it didn't come out until many years later, when a portion of it was declassified, but only 57 pages of the original 284-page manuscript were released, and even those had been heavily altered and sanitized. Why would the CIA consider this book so dangerous? Why hide it from the public for more than half a century and still withhold most of it? The author, Dr. Chan Thomas, was a prominent scientist who authored the Adam and Eve story. The title might seem like a playful metaphor, but it's much more literal. Thomas's work explores the idea of humanity's ultimate end. Now, this might sound like one of those extreme doomsday theories, but let's dive deeper. Thomas presented the idea that Earth experiences cyclical pole shifts, which result in catastrophic events that wipe out most of humanity, resetting civilization back to the Stone Age. He claims we are the sixth advanced civilization to emerge on Earth, and that previous civilizations have come and gone, likely obscured by time, with evidence pointing to continents that no longer exist. Interestingly, Thomas wasn't the first to suggest such ideas. Back in 1958, Charles Hapgood published The Earth's Shifting Crust, which explored similar theories about pole shifts. When Hapgood proposed continental drift, it was initially dismissed as pseudoscience. However, over time, this theory became widely accepted. After collaborating with Albert Einstein, Hapgood released a revised edition of his work in The Path of the Pole, where he further expanded on the concept of pole shifts and their historical implications. For instance, one map, known as the Peary Race map, presents Antarctica in a state that was unglaciated. Yet this map was drawn long before Antarctica's icy conditions were known to the world. Hapgood theorized that an ice-age civilization may have mapped the continent thousands of years ago, and its coastline was once visible. While many of Hapgood's ideas have been substantiated, Thomas proposed that these shifts can happen rapidly, in a matter of hours, rather than over millennia. He describes an apocalyptic scenario in which the Earth's poles suddenly shift, unleashing cataclysmic consequences. What would that look like? Imagine an earthquake unlike anything recorded in history, where entire mountain ranges sway like blades of grass, and massive tsunamis sweep across continents. Thomas details an event in which the Earth's surface suddenly comes to a halt while its atmosphere and oceans continue to move, creating winds exceeding miles and miles. These violent forces tear through cities, throwing them into chaos. In the aftermath, a frozen, desolate world, where surviving remnants of human civilization are buried under miles of water, mud and debris, entering a new ice age within hours. Could it happen? There are many who point to ancient flood myths from across the globe. Cultures from Mesopotamia, Greece, the Americas, and the Pacific all have stories of great floods that seem to describe similar events. For example, the biblical flood of Noah, the Mayan story of a great deluge, and other cultural narratives all align in their descriptions of a civilization-ending catastrophe. What's fascinating is that Thomas' timeline places the last great flood not 11,500 years ago, as many believe, but closer to 6,500 years ago, aligning with some recent archaeological discoveries, including flood evidence in China and the Mediterranean. The idea of lost civilizations is controversial. Mainstream archaeology claims the first advanced civilizations appeared around 6,500 years ago in Mesopotamia. But what if that was just the latest reboot? What if advanced societies existed long before that, wiped out by periodic cataclysmic events? Could evidence of these forgotten civilizations lie buried beneath the sands, like the Great Sphinx, which some believe may have been eroded by water, suggesting it was built long before the Egyptian civilization? And then there's the mystery of Atlantis. Plato famously described the city as a technologically advanced society that was destroyed in a cataclysm. Although many dismiss the idea of Atlantis as legend, geological formations like the Eye of the Sahara have sparked interest as potential remnants of this ancient city. Thomas also explores the idea of other lost continents, like the Pacific continent of Mu, described in both Maya and Indian texts. According to some researchers, this landmass once stretched from Hawaii to Easter Island, but was destroyed during a cataclysmic event. However, Thomas's theories about pole shifts and lost civilizations are speculative, and much of the evidence he presents is based on interpretations of ancient texts and legends. While the existence of ancient floods is supported by geological data, the notion of advanced civilizations being repeatedly wiped out remains a fringe idea. The big question, when will this happen? According to Thomas, it could happen soon. In fact, he updated his predictions in 1993, suggesting that the next cataclysm could occur by the year 2000, though it obviously hasn't happened yet. But with Earth's history full of surprises and mysteries, who's to say? So, should we panic? The truth is, while Thomas's predictions remain largely unproven and speculative, they raise interesting questions about Earth's past and the potential risks that could face humanity in the future. But as of now, there's no scientific consensus on when or even if a pole shift will occur.